Let's do this. Good morning, and welcome to the Unleashed Media and Talk Show with Daryl Arnold.
Oh, hell yeah.
This is the show where we talk about everything.
What the hell?
Well, almost. From today's news, culture, entertainment, real life, real people, and the stories everybody's talking about. And no, we don't do it in some tiny glass bubble. We do it the only way we know how. Real and completely unleashed.
Fire the hole, fire the hole, fire the hole.
So lean in and let's go right now.
Give me a hell yeah. What? Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Yeah, 6:31 a.m. on a Wednesday, July 1st, ladies and gentlemen. We are officially in America 250 official Independence Week for 2026. My name is Daryl Arnold, 250 years. We are celebrating in style all week right here at Unleashed Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold. We're on the radio at 104.3 FM. And of course, we're on the podcast, Apple, Spotify, Podbean, iHeartRadio, and more. We're live streaming to Facebook, YouTube, and so much more. Go ahead and share the feed if you see it. Let's talk, y'all, on a Wednesday, July 1st. And again, that is 2026. Let's get this out of the way. What happens on the first Wednesday of every month? Grip and Grin. That's right, Mama Hamels today, lunchtime. It's going to be fun. It's always fellowship. It's always great speakers. It's always a good time with great food and great friends. Grip and Grin, you want to get there about 11 a.m., 11:15, so you can get a seat. Featured speaker today is Jason White. And again, that is Grip and Grin, Highway 51, Ridgeland, Mississippi, or Madison. It's right across from the tax assessor office right there on 51 at the infamous Mama Hamels. Want to thank Bruce, Orlette, everybody that's involved in making that Bob Hamill, making the Grip and Grin happen the first Wednesday of every month. Coming out of the Neshoba County Fair. This should be a good one. We should get a lot of great information, and we should have a lot of great fellowship, food, and fun. Be there, my friends. Be there today, Wednesday, July 1. All right. So, a lot has happened this week. Yesterday and day before, oh my God. The Supreme Court decisions that have come down. It has been nonstop chaos. Nonstop chaos. If you're keeping up at all, well, let me put it this way. If you're not keeping up at all, you probably need to keep up because there's a lot going on, ladies and gentlemen, that not only affects your life, my life, actually everybody's life and your family's life. So I would be trying to keep up the best that I possibly could. I just would. And not saying that so you'll watch me, listen to me, whoever it is you watch or listen to, or wherever you get your news, make sure that it's not fake ass news, though, because there's a lot of that going on. But definitely keep up with what's going on because these decisions that are coming down right now, they're going to affect everybody. Not just you, not just me, everybody. So get ready. this birthright citizenship decision. Of course, Amy Comey Barrett again let us all down like she tends to do. Sadly. But again, she let us down on the birthright citizenship. And Donald J. Trump, the president of the United States, said, hey, China, hey, president of China, we just threw you another bone because you can come over now. You can have a baby, drop it off in the United States, have that baby have American citizenship, and then run right back to China. I mean, really? This is the dumbest, irresponsible, and just vindictive decision we've ever heard from the Supreme Court, taunting and tainting and using the 14th Amendment for their advantage. Not cool. Not cool. 601-918-8409 is the text line. 601-918-8409. Give me a text, shout, and we'll talk about that as well. But why? Why do they keep doing it to us? Well, that's not all they're doing. And boy, oh boy, is a lot going on. And we're going to discuss all of that, not just nationwide, worldwide, and right here in Mississippi and right in your state and in your freaking neighborhoods. Literally. Got some neighborhood stories. We do. So while we're talking about the Supreme Court decision and all that, this is how they work the citizenship scam. The framers of our country have made the constitutional language clear, yet still the court got this wrong. Congress can, which they're getting ready to do already because Trump put it out yesterday, Congress can fix this, but, and this is a huge but, too many of them are corrupt and or ignorant. Okay, that's the truth. Too many of them are corrupt and or ignorant to fix that. Birthright citizenship. Our social circles nowadays, they would like include a guy married to a Honduran. Every time one of his wife's relatives is pregnant, she would then come over and stay with him. When it's time to deliver the baby, the relative Ubers to one of the most expensive hospitals in the world. She gives birth, says the magic words to avoid ever receiving a bill, ever. So this, no bill like the American people have to pay, none. I'm undocumented. That's the two magic words at the hospital. And after a few weeks, she heads back to Honduras with the baby. Not only that, but a birth certificate and a United States of America passport. This one family has likely cost taxpayers at the very least, already $300,000 in payments to the hospital for uncompensated health care. Now, when the kids are adults, they have the automatic right to sponsor their own parents or whatever for green cards. So eventually this one family will be responsible for 40 to 50 legal, not illegal, migrants, immigrants from Honduras to the United States. Okay, now you think that's an example that I just told you? No, that's a fact. That's not an example, that's a fact. And now through 2028, all the babies are getting taxpayer funded Trump accounts. So this is what's happening, y'all. This is what's happening. But, here's a text message saying, bruh, that's the stupidest decision ever because you're taxed worldwide on your income. Yeah, well, of course, you're paying for all that. Yes, you are. And for the 2026 tax year, a U.S. citizen can exclude up to 132 for foreign earned income from U.S. taxes. But how does the U.S. government have the power to allow this to keep happening? Someone said, did you report this? Well, of course, the person that gave me the story reported it. But yes, the person where I got the story from, of course, they reported it. So, also prompted in the last couple of days is they're going to heat up, crank up, get started, and really push hard on anchor baby scams and coming over exactly like we explained in the story, having a baby, not paying for it, and then heading back with your passports, your birthright, your American citizen birthright legally. Okay. Not that we would be friends with a traitor, but if I was accidentally, I would have reported them for sure. That's another text message from Scarlett. Good morning on this Wednesday, July 1, 2026. Call ICE and tell them. Well, what are you really going to tell them, though? That Hondurans and everyone else is using our U.S. system? There's nobody to blame right now except for ourselves and, of course, the Supreme Court decisions from funky left wing Amy Barrett, and the rest of the lunatics. Okay. And socialist, keep on. I think this is what, 4 or 5 now, at least 4. Socialist communists keep on winning the Democrat primaries. We're going to be talking about that all morning because it's happening. Ladies and gentlemen, everywhere. Okay. You're saying, Daryl, you're not talking about Mississippi. I'm talking about everywhere. This is a national emergency right now. Another far left, they're calling the DSA. That's that dirty propaganda they've been pushing for 100 years. They're back on that again. Insurgent just crushed. They're winning by like 30 points. Just crushed the Colorado's longest serving congresswoman. Hassan Piker and the radicals are cheering, and this is just the beginning. This is not just about New York, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Wake the hell up. Wake up. They're openly abolishing borders, defunding police into a socialist communist disaster. That's what they're pushing. Highly educated elites and wealthy limousine liberals are falling for it. You understand that? They are falling for it. They were taught what real communism looks like, or they were not, rather, excuse me. They were not taught what real communism looks like because they're Gen Z or they're young or they didn't take civics or they didn't read history or they depended on stupid shows on one of the main apps or something that didn't talk about it. But what it really looks like is poverty, oppression, failure. Bernie's Soviet honeymoon, Tim Walz's China trips, weather underground roots. It's been here for decades and now it's in the mainstream, ladies and gentlemen. And I know one thing, the conservatives have to get out, get enthused, and get freaking real and vote. The radical shift hurts the country for long term. We need America first, not Marxist experiments on us, the people of the United States. So you got to reject the communism, reject the socialism, and save the constitutional republic. That's what's got to happen. That's what has to happen. Really, at this point, you're screwed, blued, if you don't allow that to happen. Good morning to Clayton Pell, Electrical Services and Electrical Solutions, right here in Pearl, Mississippi. Electrical Services and Solutions on Facebook, online, Electrical Services and Solutions, LLC. Russ McGuffey Hurricane. Hurricane is playing July 4th, performing at Cameron's Garage, located at Cypress Point Resort. I'm telling you, it is an America 250 party week. If you go to at Cypress Point MS on Facebook, you will see every single day this week is a fantastic promotion loaded up with the very best in music, food specials, beverages, you name it. All kind of stuff. The America 250 is on the rise out there. Okay. And also, Arlette, good morning. Slow Hand, the Conway Twitty tribute band is this Friday night, July 3rd. That's what I'm talking about. If you've never seen Shane Weems and the crew do the Conway Twitty, get ready because it's freaking amazing. Amazing. Josh, Dylan, and Nick, Lariat, fantastic band. They're doing the acoustic version trio on Sunday, July 5th, and there's a whole lot more. Go on Facebook, Cypress Point MS, or cypresspointms.com, or my damn page. You'll see it all. You will. But while we're talking about Clayton Pell, when your power goes out, and believe me, it's supposed to be record breaking today. I mean, record breaking the next 2 days, heat. Record breaking. And you don't want your damn power to go out. But a Generac home standby generator is professionally installed and automatically keeps lights, appliances running when outages strike. So their phone number over there is 769-572-7597, electrical-solutions and services.com. Check them out. But this week, like I said, big week. Today is Wednesday, hump day. Hump day. A lot going on. Phil Yarbrough in the garage and Traveling Jane duo acoustic in the tavern. TJ Burnham tomorrow night in the tavern. Just, I mean, it is star-studded week and weekend, okay? Period. Get out, check it out, have fun, hang out. Because, my friends, July is here, ladies and gentlemen. July is here. And California never stops with their nonsense. California never stops with their nonsense. A California neighborhood over in the LA area banned, okay, Banned. They banned the flying of American flags on July 4th. These people are freaking lunatics. Okay? These people have lost their way and they're lunatics. The HOA, the Home Association board, argued that the flag represents a political or an affiliate view. Give me a break. Which will degrade, these are their words, degrade the common area, excuse me. My question is, what the hell is wrong with these people? Okay? That's what I want to know. It's what I want to know. It's what we deserve to know. And if you live there, I don't know. But a married couple was threatened with fines if they did not remove their American flag from outside their home in San Marcos, which is past LA towards San Diego. Okay. Just as we are about to celebrate America 250 Independence Day, I would tell them to kiss my, crazy. One of the most beautiful and magnificent things about America is the way we show our love for this country together. Now, Steve Hilton is running for governor, and we pray that that man gets it because Gavin Newsom is done. Steve Hilton also said the national anthem before sports events, the Pledge of Allegiance at public events, the stars and stripes everywhere. Yes. And now these tiny little bureaucrats at ridiculous HOAs want to trample on the flag and stifle our American pride for this country at all moments. That's what they want. What a bunch of anti-American losers. Okay? What a bunch of anti-American losers. I hope every single one, this is Steve Hilton right here. He said, quote, I hope everyone in that neighborhood not only ignores their HOA, but doubles and triples the number of American flags that they display on this very special anniversary for our nation. Amen. Yeah, well, I do too. I do too. It's the insanity of these liberals, these far left, now socialist communists. The DSA, socialist is what they're calling themselves, but really they're communists. It's really disheartening, honestly, heartbreaking, sad to see how much they hate the United States of America and our culture. Um, you know, it really is. We can get mad all we want, but it's sad. It's real sad. An estimated 260,000, story from Fox News this morning, babies receive automatic U.S. citizenship each year despite their parents not being United States citizens. A policy Vice President Vance has called loopholes. Now, Speaker Johnson has said Congress wants to revisit birthright citizenship following the Supreme Court's major ruling limiting nationwide injunctions. Well, I know this. It's a very heated reaction right now on Capitol Hill, and it should be. Very heated. It's divided, but the court's ruling on the a couple other things too. Protecting women's sports from transgender participation. If you're a biological male, you have no business playing a sport with a biological female by calling yourself a biological they, them, or whatever hell word you come up with. So I'm glad they did agree on that. Okay. Another college brainwashing machine producing subject. Another one. Okay, so Democrats are being taught to hate America, the younger generation, by foreign funded NGOs, and in turn by their leaders. And it's freaking working. Okay, it's working. And this Hassan Piker, remember that name, y'all, Hassan Piker. He backed the other Democrat socialist communist Millet Kairos, a far-left radical born in Ethiopia yesterday. And she freaking won, 29 years old, no clue. She beat a 30-year incompetent, no clue. Not a freaking clue. What about them apples? Well, that's dangerous. It's real dangerous. All right, we're going to take a quick break right here. It is coming up on the top of the hour. It is Wednesday, July 1st, 2026. My name is Daryl Arnold. The name of the show, Unleash Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold. 2 R's, 2 L's, and Daryl. And the and is the and sign, not A-N-D. On honestly, a bright and early Wednesday morning, July 1st. Let's celebrate. Let's celebrate America 250.
Every program in the Next ecosystem is designed to meet people where they are and take them where they want to go, in technology and in life. Mississippi Coding Academies is a nonprofit that bridges the digital divide, delivering accessible, affordable, and life-changing technology education across the globe. Funded by grants and donations that are truly making an impact at home and abroad. Learn coding, cybersecurity, and so much more with locations around the state of Mississippi. Go to mscoding.org today and go to your next level.
Everyone has waited on, and we have it at Cameron's Garage. August 7th, Crossin' Dixon. This is the concert of the decades not to miss. Join us at Cameron's Garage for an evening of music. The Stevens Brothers Band will kick off the night at 5:30 p.m., followed by Crossin' Dixon at 8 p.m. Purchase your tickets in advance for $15 or at the door for $20 at cypresspointms.com. This will sell out. We cannot wait to see you there.
I've got Southern comfort running through my veins.
Support for these programs comes from Electrical Solutions and Services in Pearl, Mississippi, providing licensed electrical contracting services throughout Mississippi for commercial, industrial, and residential projects. Also installations, system upgrades, troubleshooting, and emergency electrical repairs. As certified installers for Tesla, charging systems, and a certified dealer for Generac backup power solutions, their team delivers safe, code-compliant workmanship with a commitment to precision and integrity. They are veteran-owned. Their phone number is 769 5727597.
You are listening to WPBP 104.3 FM, The Pirate, Pearl, Mississippi.
Welcome back to the Unleashed Media and Talk Show with Daryl Arnold. And yes, he's still unapologetic.
Top of the hour, straight up, WPBP 104.3 FM Legal ID. Thank y'all for joining me on this Wednesday morning. It is going to be hot. It's going to be record-breaking heat, ladies and gentlemen. Stay freaking hydrated, period. Please, please stay hydrated. Record-breaking heat, honestly, around the country. I mean, really. Some places it's never even thought about being this hot. Never even thought about being this hot. So, the montage of socialism, they're calling it socialism. We're calling it communism. We're calling it what it is. Now, you say, Daryl, you're talking about the national issue. It's coming here. It's already in your neighborhoods, and you don't know it because that's what they do. They start on the small levels, get congressional seats in small districts, and then they make audios, and they, unfortunately, the young people are bought in on this.
Socialist because I think we should fund public education, not bombs that kill innocent children.
I'm a socialist because I want to see my immigrant communities live with safety and dignity.
I'm a socialist because I know that the only way we all get free is if we put an end to the U.S. war machine.
I'm a socialist because no child should have to go to bed hungry or without a roof over their head.
I'm a socialist because I want a sustainable future for my kids.
I'm a socialist because art and culture should be a right for all, not a privilege for a few.
I'm a socialist because queer and trans people deserve to live a dignified life where our healthcare, housing, and jobs are guaranteed human rights.
I'm a socialist because under capitalism, our healthcare system does not treat people with dignity, but we have all the means necessary for people to get the care they deserve.
I'm a socialist because my students learn better when their families can afford housing, healthcare, and food.
I'm a socialist because I want my daughter to grow up in a world that treats working class people with dignity.
I'm a socialist because it's the only viable option for our people and our planet.
I'm a socialist because I think we should fund public education.
Okay, 95, 98% of those people were teachers, okay? So if you're wondering where this is coming from, these are your teachers, ladies and gentlemen, across the United States of America, and they're getting it wrong. I'm sorry. You're never going to get anyone with common sense to believe that. I mean, free this, free that. Nothing is freaking free. And I want to cuss because it's not. Okay, it's not. Please tell us where socialism or communism has ever worked. They don't have an answer for that. They don't have it. They just have, I'm a socialist because I believe in pixie dust and freaking unicorns. I mean, really? Come on, y'all. I'm a socialist because I'm an idiot or whatever it is. Socialism, communism cannot provide these ideals that they're talking about. Do your homework. It's never worked under any, and that's a capital A-N-Y, any model in history. So my thought process on all of them jumping on there, getting paid for the little tic-tac, ticky-tock videos and stuff. They're a socialist because they're stupid and uneducated about what socialism and communism is. That's what it is. Got a text message saying, yeah, I'm a socialist because being an engineer is too hard, but working at Starbucks doesn't pay enough, so I need your money too. Yeah. Whatever. Let's check in on David Hall. He sent a couple of messages. He said, America, love it or leave it. Amen. These people are ingrates. They have no concept of the blessing that it is to be in America. That's right. Because if they went to one of these, quote, socialist communism countries and dealt with CCP or whoever, wonder what happened then. Well, David Hall said also, which I agree with, but let's ship them off to the other country of their choice. The sad reality is that on our 250th birthday, we are at a point that national division and divorce is the only solution for this divide. Yeah, we are, especially with the complete infiltration and the complete takeover, wannabe takeover right now of the communists. Yes. Thanks for those messages, Mr. David Hall. But it doesn't work, y'all. And here's what they really should be thinking about before they open their mouths. And then we're going to leave this conversation alone for a few minutes, but it just infuriates me. They should be saying, I'm a socialist because I've never seen what actually happens to socialist communist countries. That's what they should say. They won't, because they're listening to the propaganda networks, plural. And there's a whole lot of them. There's entirely too many of them. But yes, they're listening to the propaganda, which is not the freaking answer, but that's what they're listening to. It's exactly disgusting. It is exactly disgusting. But hey, this is where they're headed. This is where they're headed. What are you going to do, right? Right. Mississippi election law held up. The Supreme Court left in place that Mississippi's law allowing properly postmarked mail ballots to be counted if they arrive after Election Day. This is pathetic. This also infuriates me. The ruling affects election procedures in Mississippi and, quite frankly, several other states. Here's a question for you. Should states have the flexibility in administrating elections, or should there be one national standard for ballet deadlines? You tell me. Oh, I mean, crazy. It's insane. We live here, Mississippi. Congressional Republicans began discussing legislation in this state about this, as they should. As they should. So y'all know that the Supreme Court's just getting fired up. It's going to get crazy again after they come back from break in around October, however long they go on freaking break. They agree to hear the AR-15 ban challenge. This is another major announcement, Second Amendment development. The court announced it will hear challenges to state bans, oh Lord, on AR-15 style rifles and other semi-automatic firearms. The decision could become the biggest guns. Oh my. The decision could be and become the biggest gun right case since the court's landmark ruling in 2022. Will this become that? Will this become the next landmark expansion of Second Amendment rights? Will it? I don't know. I don't know. Trump did score a major victory on presidential power. The Supreme Court rules that presidents have a broader authority to remove leaders from independent federal agencies. In other words, the slimy bureaucrats, overturning decades of of it being the other way. Yeah. Supporters argue it strengthens the presidential accountability, while critics warn it expands executive power too far. Well, they're going to say that about Trump. Doesn't matter what it is, they're going to say it. Bad, bad, bad. Should unelected bureaucrats, though, be insulated from an elected president? I don't freaking think so. I don't. You can agree to disagree, whatever. I don't think they should. They also are saying the Trump administration that progress continues towards keeping the Strait of Hormuz open while negotiations over the nuclear program move forward. Energy markets remain focused at the moment on whether stability in the region will hold. Now, has the administration over at the Trump administration, is it tougher approach? Iran produced better results than previous diplomatic strategies. I mean, I think so. I think so. I think so. Oh, wow. Wow, 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 wow. You know what's sickening? I'll tell you what's sickening is this freaking Save America Act not being passed yet. If I had a penny, a dime, a dollar for every time I talked about this, incredible. But it's just sickening at this point. It really is. So, what we got in the last few days is, well, actually, I'm going to read a post here from Tommy Lauren. She pretty much sums up what I was going to say. So we've gotten an open voting season, mail-in ballots, no voter ID, no proof of citizenship, ballot harvesting, drop boxes, and birthright citizenship. Well played, Democrats. The invasion worked. Meanwhile, our so-called GOP will not pass the Save America Act and have backed off mass deportations because it looks mean. Wow. Wow. Before long, I don't know how long, those movies you see, White House has fallen, London has fallen, whatever. The U.S. is going to be fallen. We may not, it may already be, and we just don't know it yet. But you know what? We, the people, are sick of it. We're tired of it. We're sick of it. But as usual, the spineless rhinos, it's always the same people. Always. So why can't we just get rid of these 4, 5, 6, whatever it is, people? Well, some of them are being primaried, but they'll still be in there until the midterms, which is horrible. I know this is a great time to focus on Jesus. I do know that. Always, always a great time. Always. Got a text message saying, it's getting close to turn the lights out. The party's over. Yeah, I'm going to stay positive. Donald Trump has recently announced that we are having a Republican convention for the midterms. Now, this, my friends, is brilliant because the Republican convention always is a huge deal, whether you like them or not. You're going to have a convention for the midterms. Never been done before. Of course, Donald J. Trump does a lot of stuff that's never been done. Either we rise all the way, though, ladies and gentlemen, us conservatives, whether you're Republican or just a conservative or independent, whatever, either we rise or we're going to fall. It's that simple at this point. There is no more effing around. There's no more sitting around. There's no more wondering, oh no, what can we do? Licking our wounds. No. Because the election success of the Democrat Socialist of America, the DSA, is alarming not just Republicans and conservatives, but it's alarming mainstream Democrats. But the striking news is how, you don't hear any of them talking about it, and how many of them have been willing to speak up against the DSA's radical beliefs. You only hear one person. That's crazy. That's insanity to me. One person. John Fetterman. No one else. Unbelievable. They won't speak up because they're little scaredy cats. They're little scaredy cats. House Democrat leader Hakeem Jeffries, the likely, quote, next speaker, in his mind anyway, he's not one of them. He won't speak up. And they already said they don't like him. And he's still a little punk. That's just crazy. It's happening, folks. The Democrats are building that radical base. I think they've already built it. And the DNC has no idea how to respond. That's what's really happening. It's about 20 minutes after the hour on Wednesday, July 1st, 2026. We'll be right back.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Visit msema.org and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by the Mississippi Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, and the Ad Council.
Don't forget to check out Cypress Point Resort. Memories are made at Cypress Point. Close to home, yet it feels miles away. At Cypress Point, you can truly get away from it all. You can step back to a simpler time, yet enjoy all the amenities of today. Cameron's Garage is a sports bar and music venue. There's a lunch buffet every day inside Cypress Point. They also have a steakhouse and the Tavern. The Tavern is a quaint little place with live music Wednesday through Saturday. And of course, you've got the Safari Park and Petting Zoo. Don't forget about all the event halls, including the Wedding Chapel and so much more. That's Cypress Point Resort, located at 874 Hollybush Road, Brandon, Mississippi. Contact them at 601-829-1101 or at cypresspointms.com.
If you or a loved one need reliable medical equipment, trust a name Mississippi has depended on for over 20 years. Mobility Medical, located right in Flowood, is your local family-owned source for mobility and home healthcare solutions. From power wheelchairs and scooters to lift chairs that help you relax in comfort, they've got everything you need to stay independent and live better every day. Need help at home? Mobility Medical offers hospital beds, tables, and essential supplies, and more. What sets them apart? It's their personalized service. Their experienced team works one-on-one with you to find the right equipment. Serving all of Mississippi and beyond with in-store support and delivery options available. Mobility Medical, helping you move better, live better, and stay independent. Visit them today in Flowood or call to learn more.
Welcome back to the Unleashed Media and Talk Show with Daryl Arnold. And yes, he's still unapologetic.
7:22 a.m. Wednesday, July 1st, 2026. My name is Daryl Arnold. The name of the show is Unleashed Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold. Also, the podcasts are always up and available right after the show. And you can check that out at Spotify, Apple, Podbean, iHeartRadio, Amazon, Pandora, and so much more. Podbean as well. You can always check it on Podbean, which is the host site. We are getting ready to be releasing DarylArnold.us. I'm sure you can figure out what the US stands for. Make it real simple. Put everything in one place. DarylArnold.us. It's not up just yet. It's coming soon. 2 R's, 2 L's, and Daryl.us. Today, Wednesday, July 1. Is there anything going on? Yeah. There is a lot going on. But you know what? All this stuff we've been talking about, all these seems to be fear mongering, but it's really the truth. It honestly is. But we're going to change that right now and talk about the fact that it is America, United States of America. It is the 250th anniversary of our beautiful country. You could not ask for a better country, even with all the problems we have. You just couldn't. It's beautiful in every way. Everybody has always wanted to come here to live the American dream. That's what it's about, an idea, a dream, and your dreams can come true right here in the greatest country ever, the United States of America, and our 250th anniversary combined with Independence Day this coming Saturday, which is July 4th. I mean, just real American people. Real American people. Just crazy. Insane, rather. Insane. But those other things we were talking about, they're happening too, So we don't talk about all this to fearmonger. We just talk about it because it's actually happening. It's actually happening right now. Right in front of us, unfortunately, right in front of us. Good morning to Kristen out there and the rest of you that are checking in on social media and live stream. Thank you for joining me this morning. I appreciate it. Always appreciate it. So, new Mississippi laws. We're going to get into this for just a minute because it's very important that you know and keep up with this. There have been quite a few brand new Mississippi laws that take effect July 1st, 2026, which is today. Today. More than 100. Say that again. More than 100 new laws are in effect as of July 1st, 2026, after being passed during the, quote, 2026 legislative session. The changes include teacher pay raises, tougher penalties for minors who commit violent crimes with firearms. Mississippi teachers will receive a pay raise this upcoming school year. Although legislators discussed several proposals with different amounts here in Mississippi, the ultimate agreed upon $2,000 pay raise. Special education teachers will receive an additional $2,000, bringing it up to $4,000. But there is so many bills, so many. There's the shield bill, there's the safeguard, honest integrity in elections for a lasting democracy. The absentee voting process is changing after House Bill 859. Voters casting absentee ballots will still have to show ID and complete an affidavit. However, instead of sealing the ballot in an envelope, the completed ballot would be fed directly into the voting machine, which is the same process used on election day. Not sure I feel good about it. Not sure. Not. Here's a big one for a lot of you people out there listening. Spread the word. Casinos are required now to intercept winnings from non-custodial parents who are behind on their actual child support payments. So the measure applies to slot machine and sports betting winnings of more than $2,000. Winnings from the craps table and card games are currently exempt until they figure out a way. I don't have a problem with it, but the law takes effect today through the Gaming Commission and the MDHS, and the casinos have until January 1st to implement the entire system inside of their system. According to MDHS, July 1st, 2026, which is today, is the day. Well, about 170,000 of 200,000 child support cases have averages, meaning someone is behind on payments. Sexual battery policies and penalties have changed. The death penalty is now applicable. The death penalty is now available in capital sexual battery cases. The new law allows the death penalty in cases where a child aged 12 years old or younger is sexually abused and suffers severe injuries that damage their organs. Before this, sexual battery of a child was only punishable by death in Florida, Tennessee, and Idaho. Senate Bill 2710, which was actually signed by the governor and good, states that if anyone 18 and under commits a crime using a firearm, whether open or concealed, they will be charged as an adult. Now, this law targets adults who put guns in the hands of teenagers. And listen, these gangsters, these folks with guns, these kids with guns, it's got to happen. And also, if someone sells a teen a stolen firearm, which I would never do, but if someone does that, they face up to 20 years in prison. If the firearm is used in a crime, they face up to 30 years. If the stolen gun is used in a homicide, they're looking at 40 years in prison. Now, remember, these are only some of the 100 laws that go into effect today, July 1st, 2026. There is the Jill's Law, requires most health insurance plans to cover biomarker testing. And there's a lot more, ladies and gents. There is a lot more. Keep that in mind, my friends. Keep that in mind. There's also the a lot of laws that are going to impact families, students, and drivers. So you need to be aware. You need to be aware and spread the word. Beginning in 2027, that's going to be January, all drivers will be required to complete an approved ED driver test exam. All new drivers. There's no more grandfathered in now. If you've already had your whatever, and you're a grown adult, then no, you don't. But on others, yes. Others, yes. People always trying to scam these websites. Whatever. Anyway, these are awesome. Now, if Mississippi can do it, others should follow along. If people knew how to act and be decent human beings, there wouldn't be a need for some of these laws. Yeah, it's a text message. Good morning, Donna. So now they legislate common sense. Yes, it's about damn time, right? Who's going to teach the driver's ed? Who's going to teach that? Well, maybe they'll open up some jobs. Maybe it'll open up some jobs. We hope so, right? We do hope so. But there's a lot of new laws, like around 100, that the 2026 legislative session brought into law. Into law. Victor Willis, the lead singer of the Village People, of course, the lead singer of YMCA, became a fixture at Donald Trump's rallies. He has died on Wednesday evening last night at 74 years old. Rest in peace. Trump loves that tune, though. He loves that tune. Y'all remember, if you're looking for great lunches, our Blue Plate lunch specials out at Cypress Point are served fresh Tuesday through Friday and include your choice of one side, access to the salad bar and dessert. Join us Tuesday through Friday. Governor Tate Reeves is thankful. We're all thankful for President Trump approving Mississippi's request for a major disaster declaration following the devastating tornadoes that struck the communities in South Mississippi back in May. This support will help rebuild the devastated areas and repair and recover. Good. This is a direct True Social post from Trump. Anyway, that's good news. Also, I believe he did one with Georgia as well. The current president gets to the point quicker and handles things a lot quicker than Sleepy Joe did because he didn't know where he was, of course. He did not know where he was. Now, some of the stuff yesterday was tough to listen to. Sheridan Gorman's mom was having a session hearing with the Democrats, and actually wasn't just the Democrats, it was the House Congress. And she kept trying to make the point that she needed them to imagine that this was their daughter. But these people are so rude. These people do not care at all unless it is someone from another country that gets mutilated or killed. But when someone from another country who's here illegally kills somebody, they don't give a damn. I know. Yeah, I know. It's backwards. I understand. It's 100% backwards. And unfortunately, it's one political stunt after the other for the Democrat Party. She went on to say that the grief is real. Every day she wakes up in unimaginable pain. Unimaginable pain. Just wow. And Mike Lawler, who brought this in, he lost it, and he should have. He pummeled Jamie Raskin, who's a loser anyway, and the Democrats to their faces for not giving a single crap about Sheridan Gorman being killed by illegal alien. Of course, Raskin started screaming uncontrollably. Uncontrollably. That's what they do. That's what they do. They have no shame. He said they ought to be ashamed, but they have no shame. None. None at all.
So while some of my colleagues may not want to hear the truth, the same outrage you feel about Renee Good and Alex Preddy, you should feel about Sheridan Gorman and Laken Riley and every Angel family in this country.
I do feel that outrage.
You do not. Because if you did, you would not support sanctuary
jurisdiction. Do you feel the outrage about Alex Preddy and Renee Good? You should be ashamed. You don't belong in this committee. You should get the hell out of here. You don't understand the rules of the committee. You don't understand the Constitution.
Mr. Raskin,
You're an
absolute disgrace supporting sanctuary policy.
Say one word about
Get rid of sanctuary policy. I did. I wrote a whole New York Times op-ed about it. You should be absolutely ashamed of yourself for not opposing sanctuary policies that resulted in their daughter's death.
Wow. Wow. Unbelievable. Not, it's just, Lawler said they should be ashamed of themselves and the sanctuary policies that resulted in in that lady's daughter's death, and they should be, but they're not. They're not. And Raskin is also an unhinged individual. Insane. There's no lower form of just horrible people right now than these people that we just listened to and witnessed and listened to. Sadly, I'm not kidding. Sadly, I'm not joking. But that's what's happening, ladies and gentlemen. That, my friends, is happening right now in the United States of America. And that's the truth. That is the absolute truth. We'll be right back.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, please, have a seat. So here's the thing. When this company brought you on, we took a chance on you. You didn't have that 4-year college degree we typically look for.
Right.
But we gave you a shot anyway. And since then, you've worked incredibly hard and given it your all.
Thanks.
You've been an important asset to the team, but I don't think you can be an intern here anymore. We want to hire you.
You're serious?
Absolutely.
Find your next great employee. Introduce yourself to the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
I won't let you down.
I know.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Every program in the Next ecosystem is designed to meet people where they are and take them where they want to go, in technology and in life. Mississippi Coding Academies is a nonprofit that bridges the digital divide, delivering accessible, affordable, and life-changing technology education across the globe. Funded by grants and donations that are truly making an impact at home and abroad. Learn coding, cybersecurity, and so much more with locations around the state of Mississippi. Go to mscoding.org today and go to your next level.
The Mississippi Reunion Concert. Everyone has waited on, and we have it at Cameron's Garage. August 7th, Crossin' Dixon. This is the concert of the decades not to miss. Join us at Cameron's Garage for an evening of music. The Stevens Brothers Band will kick off the night at 5:30 p.m., followed by Crossin' Dixon at 8 p.m. Purchase your tickets in advance for $15 or at the door for $20 at cypresspointms.com. This will sell out. We cannot wait to see you there.
I've got Southern comfort running through my veins.
Welcome back to the Unleashed Media and Talk Show with Daryl Arnold. And yes, he's still unapologetic.
7:44. Coming up on the end of the show in about 15 minutes. Thank y'all for joining us on a Wednesday, July 1st, 2026. Again, the name of the show is Unleashed Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold, 2 R's, 2 L's. Spread the word. Tell your friends. 104.3 FM. Also, the podcast is up and available at Podbean, Apple, Spotify, all of them. iHeartRadio, Amazon, Pandora, so much more. But the Facebook live feed, you can share that too. It just takes a second to do that. And YouTube is always live. You can go watch every broadcast on YouTube at Unleashed Media and Talk with Daryl Arnold. And on my page on Facebook at Daryl Arnold MS and Unleash Media and Talk with DA. Daryl Arnold. Man, we were talking about some crazy stuff this morning, but you know why? Because this is what's happening. It's not about me fear mongering, y'all. It's about me waking everyone the hell up. And that ridiculous stuff that went on with that poor lady and those horrible Democrats. It's just sad. Okay, it's just really sad. Sad. And they don't really care. That's even sadder. Really, it is.
I need you to think about what these policies are. And I need you to imagine this is your daughter, because I'm very sure you won't be cutting off anyone when they're speaking. I'd be very sure you won't call this a political stunt. The grief is real. Every day I wake up with unimaginable pain. Do you know what I wake up in the middle of the night and I think, did my daughter cry for me? She made it 40 feet. She made it 40 feet running for her life. Did she cry out for me? She died on that pavement all by herself, lonely, bleeding on that pavement. And I will never ever rest. I actually have to say that I am devastated. My husband and I, we're only a couple years away from retirement. I've worked my whole life so hard. All I wanted to do was just enjoy our children. Just wanted to.
Heart-wrenching. Heart-wrenching. So this gentleman was deported from this country, arrested in this country, and then put back out into this country by the Joe Blow Biden administration. That's what happened. And they're laughing, basically, in her face. The Democrats are disgusting human beings at this point, and they will not ever understand. And the ones that do understand do not care. They don't care at all. And Representative Raskin and Jayapal and all of them, they're garbage. Okay? They're just garbage. Got a text message from Gina saying, how do the Democrats look at their self every day? It's amazing that they can get worse than they were yesterday, even today and every other day. Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. Anyway, sometimes it's mind-blowing that these are actually human beings. Human beings. Here's a quite simply a direct statement from somebody who knows, somebody older, not old, but older, about this whole socialism thing with these young people supporting it.
Ken, and when you talk about socialism, I go back to the Margaret Thatcher line. Socialism is a wonderful system until you run out of other people's money.
Mm-hmm. What do you think is driving it, though? Do you think it's greed? Do you think it's jealousy?
I think these kids grew up getting free stuff, and now they're being promised more free stuff, and that's why they're voting.
It starts in the home, right?
At home and in school, they need to learn what made this country great, and how, it was hard work, but you get rewarded for hard work.
Yeah, so true. That's what my parents used to say. All right, we got to.
That's what all of our parents used to say. That's what all our parents used to say. You get rewarded for hard work. Okay? That's just what you do. DHS Secretary Mark Wayne Mullen said this morning the Supreme Court is absolutely dead wrong on the birthright citizenship, especially with China and their tourist visas, and they get to just come here. I mean, really, they just get to come here and handle the business.
Your parents are illegal. He didn't want you to be a citizen, but the Supreme Court upheld that.
Well, I think the president was spot on this, and the court is absolutely dead wrong on this situation. If you look at the reason for the 14th Amendment, again, this is way outside what has happened, especially with China and their tourist visas that they get to come into the United States or into our territories just simply to give birth. They'll come in the 8th month, maybe 1, 2, 3 weeks left, give birth here, have a child, then they move back to China, raise a person underneath the communist regime, even though they're a citizen of the United States, and in some cases we see that they go to their universities, they're stealing intellectual property, and it's absolutely been a national security issue. This is truly a national security risk that we're having, but we're re-looking at it. We had a long conversation with the White House yesterday, a long conversation with the president, Tom Homan, Stephen Miller. All of us together are working and saying, okay, how can we protect America and still at the same time, unfortunately, figure out how to work with the court in this situation?
And what?
Yeah, it's going to be extremely hard. It's going to be extremely hard. But we shall see, right? We shall see. But the far left representative that we were talking about earlier, Jaya Paul, whatever her name is, picking a fight with Representative Lawler when he brings up Sheridan Gordon's death and schools her immigration policies during all that at those sanctuary cities. That's what caused it. So if you keep voting for these nut jobs, you're going to keep getting it. And right now, as we're on this show speaking on Wednesday, July 1st, 2026, only state in the country, Gavin Newsom's California is purposely increasing, not decreasing. It's important. Increasing taxes today, right in the middle of the summer. Gas taxes, okay? Gas taxes. California is a brutal failure. Democrats in California have destroyed refining and rely on foreign oil, raise gas taxes, and then complain when it gets more expensive. Of course they do. Of course they do.
42 cents of that will go to environmental fees.
Awesome. And this hike comes as a record number of Americans are expected to hit the road and the skies this holiday weekend. Fox Business host Charles Casoni here with the latest. Cheryl.
Right, yeah, gas prices are still high, but not as high as they were even just a month ago. We have been seeing them come down unless, well, you live in California. That's a different story. But first, people are going to be driving. We may actually be getting new travel records this weekend, which, doesn't come as a surprise. It's, of course, America 250, which we've been talking about. AAA says 72.2 million Americans are going to travel for the holiday weekend. 61.4 million will be traveling by car. The numbers are fairly flat, these estimates from last year. What I think is interesting is we're going to see more people taking cruises this year. People love those cruises.
They love them.
I tell you, right?
Ma and Pop Pyro love a good cruise.
Your parents as well. It is the thing to do, apparently.
Wow.
But as far as if you're in California, their gas tax is actually going up today by 2 more cents. Now, it's state.
Democratic Socialists are taking over the Democrat Party, throwing their remaining base under the bus after the party already threw out blue collars.
They're going all the way off, y'all. They're going all the way in on this socialist, communist agenda. California and everywhere. California and everywhere. Period. 11 minutes ago on this Wednesday morning, someone caught Trump on his way to the car.
Of Iran is moving along well. They've had very good meetings, and we'll see. We hit them very hard for 3 nights, as you know, but we're getting along very well. So I call it the denuclearization, and it's all taking place. It's all going well. The stock market is setting records virtually every day. The oil price is way down. We're down at 68. I see it hit 68 today. That's lower than when I started the, I guess you could call it an attack on Iran so that they never have a nuclear weapon. So the oil price is now lower. The retail prices, the gasoline is coming down rapidly.
I regret.
Yeah. Well, Trump has been calling out these gas companies. He's been calling them out publicly. Hey, do something. Hey, do something about this. Okay? It's true. Do something about it. But President Trump calls out the gas stations to drop prices to $2.50. And Secretary Scott Bessent tells gas firms to stop gouging Americans. I would encourage them to be good actors. Okay?
And how they followed crude, and we're going to hold them accountable on the other side. President Trump talked about it the past week. He had a very powerful Truth Social yesterday. So I would encourage all the gasoline retailers. Some of them are owned by big oil. Some are independent. Some are international convenience chains. I would encourage them to be good actors, especially in the 250th anniversary, because we're watching.
We're watching. We're watching. We need to be watching. We need to be watching. Okay? We need to be paying very close attention. Very close attention, because they will try to price gouge. That's what happens. That's what happens. Unfortunately. That's what happens. And before we get out of here, this whole Democrat socialist, they call the DSA now. They're taking out the regular Democrats, which I didn't even know there was any regular Democrats left. But in fact, they are up against them now. The DSA, which is socialism and communism. They're not socialists, they're communists. Zoran Mandami and all that. It's not socialists, it's communists. President Trump said they are the biggest threat to America. And I'll let you hear for yourself before we get out of here.
He said in an interview this week that he was open to being the poster child for socialist candidates. Are you worried about more socialist candidates across the United States?
I think it's a big threat to our nation, actually, because it's not socialism, it's really communism. They use the word social democrat because it sounds so nice, but it's really communism you're talking about. I think it's the biggest threat to our nation there is, maybe since our founding. That includes World War I, World War II, September 11th. It includes the Pearl Harbor attack. I think this is the biggest threat to our nation. People will smile when I say that, but the smart people are going to say, you know, he's probably right. It's basically introducing communism into the United States of America. There's never been anything so dangerous.
Never been anything so dangerous, because the young people are listening, okay? The young people out there are listening, unfortunately. Everyone, though, on all sides, and we're going to let you go on this one, every person, every American citizen, period, on all sides of the fences, everyone should at least agree with that statement. Seriously. And if you don't, then you need to move the heck out of our country, the beautiful America, United States of America. It is Wednesday, July 1st, 2026. My name is Daryl Arnold. I'll see you Friday. And until next time, see ya.
Thank you all for tuning in. Hashtag unfiltered, hashtag unapologetic, America First Talk at its best, where we party the right way. See you next time.